What up, everybody? Welcome back. As I sit and wait on the mechanic, I thought I'd go ahead and do a video about something that was on my mind. A lot of times, and this video is probably going to do really well for those who are considering marriage and you're in the dating. It's hot out here, so I'm going to sweat a little bit. I don't really feel like turning the AC on right now. But those of you who are dating and you're pretty serious about marriage, and I say this often and I want to say it again, it may appear if you watch my content that I am against marriage. I'm not against marriage. But after having been through it, I realized that most people are ill prepared, especially when we are young. I got married at 20 years old. Most people that get married that early have no clue. And you're really swinging on a hope and a prayer. So I'm not against marriage as so much I want people to be prepared for what it is that they think that they want. And I think that a lot of times when you show them what it really is, people realize that's not really what I want, if that makes sense. Because the illusion of marriage is one thing, the reality of marriage is something else. And so those of us who have been married, been divorced, one of the things that we all have in common, I believe, that we all can look back and admit that we missed the red flags. That's what I want to talk about in this video. Do not bypass or miss the red flags. Think about the statement, red flags. Red flags. Red is normally the sign of danger, warning, explosion. It's there to cause you to, if it's a stop sign, if it's a stop light, it means make a very sudden decision. Don't fool with this. Do not go forward with this. Stand still, hesitate, pay attention, handle with care. Those are normally the things that you think of when you think of red flags. But remember that red flags are not hidden. They're red, they're bright. We have to ignore them. Did y'all hear what I said? Red flags are not hidden. It's not, back in the day they had that mystery pen that you could get if you turn in so many bubblicious or the bazooka. Y'all remember the bazooka gum back in the day? And you could turn in so many of them things, and then they sent you a pen that you could write in invisible ink, so you could have write something a little flirty to a little girl, hey, yeah, I think your legs is pretty, ha 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 ha, and then she had the decoder for it, so she could use the decoder and see what you wrote. But if the teacher picked it up, she won't supposed to be able to read it. Y'all remember that? Remember we wanted the X-ray vision glasses because we thought that we'd be able to see through everybody's. Don't worry about it. Forget it. If y'all want, if that didn't happen, that happened in Missouri. If that didn't happen where y'all was at, don't worry about it. But in Missouri, we had a chance. You get so many of your bazooka because it came inside like a little comment joint. You could get so many and then send it off, and then you could pick from what you wanted. Everybody wanted the X-ray vision glasses so that we could look through the girls' clothes and see their underwear and get a kick out of it. Of course, that wasn't real, but we spent a lot of money on bazooka gum to be perverts. Moving on, you had the decoder, and you could write it, but it was not hidden, right? That was hidden. Red flags are not hidden. We have to ignore them. We have to act like we don't see them, and we do that because a lot of times when we meet somebody, we become infatuated with who they are. We become so into them that we allow the red flags to be ignored, and we act like we don't see them, or we act like that their love for us will cause them to become better, or our love for them will cause them to become better, or once they're in a marriage situation and deal with us on a day-to-day basis. We say all of these things to convince ourselves that these red flags are not really what it seems to be. We turn the red flags into more caution lights, right? When red was supposed to mean stop, we turn it into caution light, so it just can't be cautious, be aware. Then we marry these people, and then 15 years later, we say to ourselves, well, we seen the red flags the whole time, but of course now we live in a day and age where nobody want to take accountability for anything, so we have to blame them for what they did, when in reality we saw the red flags the whole time. But again, we can't tell nobody that. Because we don't take accountability. One of the main ways that I tell people, if you want to pick up on a red flag, you want to see how somebody operates, is watch how they treat other people. It don't matter male or female. Watch how he treats his family. Watch how she treats the waitress. Do she complain every time the food is done in a restaurant? Do she always have something to say? Pay attention. These can become red flags. Pay attention. Watch how they treat their staff. Watch how they treat people that's supposed to be close to them. Watch how they treat strangers. Watch how they treat people that are less fortunate. All of these things is going to identify some of the red flags. If they will curse out somebody in their family, if they will curse out a waitress that is not even, she didn't even cook the food, she just brought it out under the assumption that it was made right. And if you see them cuss the waitress out, you know they're going to cuss you out. So that's a red flag, but we ignore it, right? Because yeah, my girl food was cold, so I understand. No, she didn't even think it through. The waitress had nothing to do with how cold the food was, unless she left it on the counter for a long time and then brought it out. But if you cut open the fish and you see that it wasn't cooked all the way through, that wasn't her fault. And what you want her to do? Touch it to see if it's hot before she bring it? No. If she'll cuss the waitress out, then you got to know she gonna cuss you out. So just pay attention. These are red flags that, again, oftentimes we ignore because we feel like once they're in a relationship with us, that things are going to get better. And then to me, one of the number one things that we do wrong is we mistake chemistry for compatibility. Are y'all listening? You youngsters, you need to write this down and see how it's working in your relationship. We mistake chemistry for compatibility. Chemistry is that instant. Y'all remember those of you that took chemistry class, right? You take, I don't want to say too much, I don't want nobody creating nothing, but you take two ingredients like hydrochloric acid, mix it with ethanol, see what happens, right? Instantly, if it's going to create a reaction, instantly you can see it taking place in the vial. That's chemistry. It's instant. It's the goosebumps. It's the fast moving. It's the vibe. Chemistry. But chemistry and compatibility is not the same thing. Compatibility is going to lean more towards, do you have similar values? Because that's what's going to allow the relationship to remain more long term. Chemistry is instant. A lot of people can get in bed and have great sex because of chemistry, but it don't mean that they are compatible enough to be in a husband and a wife situation as far as a marriage. A lot of people, based on chemistry, can jump in a bed. Are y'all listening to me? It do not mean you need to be discussing marriage, because chemistry and compatibility is not the same thing. And that's one of the things that we do wrong, is we confuse one for the other. You need both. To have a great relationship, you need both, but you have to understand the roles that they play. Chemistry is that fire. Compatibility is more long term. So compatibility by itself can seem boring, but it's going to endure because the commitment is to the values that you both share, versus the chemistry that is based on emotion can be short-lived, and then after 2 or 3 years you look around and you say, I don't have anything in common with that person. Have you heard that? We grew apart from one another. I realized we didn't have nothing in common with one another. I was in that book. So anyway, I just want to throw a couple of things out just to jog your mind, stir up your minds, get it to think. Do not confuse chemistry and compatibility, and do not ignore the red flags. They are there for a reason and they are not hidden. Pay attention to them if you are thinking about getting married. Got it? Good.